Hi guys, Gouger here. Just wanted to put a quick tutorial together to show how to build a narrow stream in Train Simulator. I'll put the logo here just to show you how sort of the scale of it. Problem with the one that comes with Train Simulator, even the narrow narrow river, it has quite high sides, which is no good for some people when they're doing small streams at the side of fields and things like that. These sides, the humps of the sides, actually get in the way, and sometimes it's a bit wide. You can use this using the same technique I'm going to show you, which uses foliage to get rid of some of the width, and it also flows. But I found that the better way of doing it is to use a plane, water plane. The lake reflective one's quite good. So I'll just place this onto the landscape and lengthen it out away from the railway, and then just drop it just below where you want it on the landscape. And then using the landscape tool, we'll just drop the height of the landscape down very roughly at the minute, just so we can see the water again, like so. Now, as you can see, using the height, if you were to go along the lines, it would actually be quite easy to fit the water plane in there. Just quickly do it, and make quite a nice little narrow straight edged river. But the problem is it very rarely goes along the lines of the landscaping tool. So normally it's an angle, and I've done this one at an angle just so you can see what problems are. So we've got that in. I'm just going to now raise the, and as you can see, as we raise the sides up, you get these artifacts crossing the river, and you can't really do a lot about it. So what we need is we need a constant bit of water. I'll just drop the size of the brush down. I'm just going to do it the best I can at the minute. Streams are very rarely straight edged anyway, so I actually quite like this sort of moving around a little bit of the river. You can actually use these bits that are sticking out a little bit later as well for mud banks. Just try and get rid of that one. So again, we don't have to worry too much about the width at the minute, because we're going to hide a lot of the width later on. So I've got this bit of mud, so I'm just going to paint the area around the stream that we've got. I'm just going to make the brush a bit fat and bigger. Put more mud in there. I'm just doing this quickly at the minute. You can spend a bit more time. So then it's time for putting the landscape in. When you put the foliage in, when you're putting the foliage in, you've got three sections. You've got the bit next to the track, where the player is going to be able to see quite a lot of detail. They need to be the high res assets, and then you've got sort of the medium distance, where it's still got to be fairly detailed, but the quality of the assets can be less. And then the furthest point is something that the player probably won't see a great deal, so you don't need to worry too much about the quality of the assets over there. So I'm just going to find some high quality shrubs that I'm going to use. So we turn that so that it's roughly in the line that we want the side of the stream to be in, and then just drop it down to where we need it to be. Now you might notice I'm on the local transform tool as opposed to the world transform tool. If you have it in the world transform tool, it's almost like using north, south, east and west for the world. And the problem with that is that when you're moving your assets about, they're actually transforming to the height of the landscape around it, and we don't want that particularly for this scenario. So if we have it on the local tool, not only does it put the arrows in the direction so that we can move it directly across the stream, it also means that it also makes it so that the asset doesn't follow the landscape, it just keeps it at the height you've put it at. Once you've got that into rough place, Control and C on your keyboard to copy, and then Control and V to paste. We're just going to place these down at the side of the river for now, just to start bringing the sides in a little bit. Just put a few. This is high quality scenery, so we don't want to put too much down. So as you can see, we've already started bringing the sides in. So now I'm going to find a slightly lower quality asset. Again, Control C on the keyboard, Control V, just to keep pasting the sides of this river, so that we can get a nice and narrow waterway. I'm just trying to cover the sides up at the minute, basically. So again, you can go as narrow or as wide as you want it to be. Right, I like to try and keep these artifacts into the water, so it looks like there's mud banks and things in there. Okay, so again, I'm going to concentrate on the near foliage at first. So anything that's near is going to be okay. Let's put a few. Again, we're trying to cover the edges of the water up mainly, so it's about trying to create this narrow waterway. So again, anything a bit further away, we can start using mid. So we'll, less quality, but better frame rates. Takes less to draw that on the screen for the computer. I'm not going to do too much on this because I'm sure you can see what's happening, but as we start building things up, the waterway actually looks quite narrow. One thing about putting trees down, if you put the trees down into the foliage, if you just have the tree out in the middle of the road, the base of the tree looks a bit odd, but if you have it actually into the foliage, covers the base up, it looks a lot more natural. So that's basically how you make a narrow river. Hope that's helped somebody, and I'll see you next time.